Hello, it's Inifa Lisa Nash, Inifa Ifana Nwade, born into Ifa through Aluo Philip Nymark and Inifa Vasa Nymark of the Ifa Foundation International. I was born into Ifa under the sign of Ogbe Meji, and I'm here again to talk about the weekly Ifascope that comes out through the foundation for this week that began on the 14th. Yes, it's Wednesday. It's rather later than I had planned. I wasn't expecting to be doing this at the kitchen table at night. But you see, that is so appropriate for the Odus and the whole medicine of this reading, right? Because what do we see? Primary Odu, Ogbe Meji, the eldest of the eldest, the first of the 256. Ogbe Meji, all of the possibilities in this universe compressed into an infinitesimally small space ready to expand into this whole universe. Well, it's simply logical to imagine that during a week ruled by this energy, one might not find things going quite as one expected. And that's true, although the reading is ire, it's on path. Does that mean everything's going to go just the way your small everyday, your existing self, your status quo self expected, wanted it to go? Is that rational, people? This is the energy that birthed everything we see. In fact, is birthing everything that we perceive, and much, much more at all times. Because we understand that time is not only this linear thing that we're habituated to running daily life. And we understand that there are many, many, many modalities of time, space. Right? So when you're working with Ogbe Meji, why would you expect things to only happen according to this rather limited time-space framework that you already knew about? Ogbe Meji is infinite possibility. So here I am, it's Wednesday night, and I'm also doing this after attending the Ifa Prime, the weekly online meeting for the members of the Ifa Foundation family who want to learn about, share about the readings. Never done that before either. And hadn't imagined that I would be doing this week. The readings ire, oh, surely that means that all my previously imagined projects and plans will just go swimmingly now. Well, they might. They might. Is that necessarily good news? Only a very small part of you could think that. Right? Every wisdom tradition that's ever gained any traction among human beings has said, you know, really, you've got to look at the fact that sometimes the thing that looked like it was going to be the best thing turns out to be a total fucking disaster. And the thing that you were sure was a total disaster turns out to be the greatest blessing ever. So better stay humble, human. Better stay open. There's a lot more to learn, human. There's so much you don't know. And even what you thought you knew is quite likely to be proven, if not flat out wrong, at least utterly inadequate at any moment. This is the truth of who we are as human beings perpetually. This is the truth of our situation here that Ogbe Meji calls us to face squarely into. Is it vulnerable? Come on. Can't even address that. So, what else? It's on path with Oshe Ed for health, Otura Meji, and right, there's another one of those Mejis. There's Otura Meji. We've been talking about this every week that I've been doing this, because Otura Meji keeps showing up, as it did throughout 2017. Do we assume that Otura Meji means, yay, peace at last, thank God Almighty, I'm free at last? Do we need to keep saying, look at the situation on the ground, this is Ifa. We name the Odus right leg first, because if you don't pay attention to what life is showing you on the right hand side, the right leg of life, you have very little capacity to make use of, good use of, what's available on the left hand side, in that gigantic unseen realm where human beings are like blindfold in the dark. What? You're not going to do too well there if you don't pay attention to what's happening on the ground. Look what's happening on the ground. I mean, you know, we could take any sample of the news, but this week, a prominent gay civil rights lawyer, 60 years old, set himself on fire in Prospect Park after sending out an incredibly intelligent and articulate letter to people and organizations who loved him, who knew him, and saying, look, this is about the earth. This is about what we're doing to our earth home, to our greater body. I'm setting myself on fire with gasoline, because this is what we're doing to our world. And you actually think that a reading like this means, oh good, I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing, but now it's going to be better because I harness the energy of Eshu. That's what was actually spoken on this Ifa Prime tonight. Oh, you're going to use the energy of Ogbe Meji. Oh, really, human? Says Eshu, says Elegua. And dare I speak his name in this Ifa Light Company, Lucero? Different octaves, one note. Okay, this vast energy of potentiality that goes by these names and many, many others all over the world. You're going to use it. You're going to take charge of it. Human being, if you haven't yet learned that that is exactly the moment at which the trickster will take hold of you and drop kick you into a reality you had not imagined. Or if you had, you could not have imagined that it could ever be yours. Well, who can help you then? Because everybody everywhere has always known this. And the movie of life playing for the human being on the ground right now is saying, look, are you going to face into this aspect of humanity that's perpetually doing that, saying, we know best. Everything we know is all there is to know. And we got this. Or aren't you? Oh, it's on path for health. Does that mean you couldn't die this week? Really? You know more than Eshu about what's in best health for your soul? Because you are, like we all are, still in creative conflict with our mortality, and you don't want to die. That couldn't actually be best for your health? If you think you're walking a spiritual path and you have that kind of attitude, you are in dire danger. Okay, you're in dire danger. Any spiritual teacher from any well-rooted perspective or lineage is going to tell you the same thing. Okay, that's what I hear Eshu saying loud and clear. Yes, you know, if you've been working to recognize that this is the nature of the crisis that humanity now faces, a confrontation with our own evolutionary state. It's natural that we see things this way. It's like being a child, but now we have to grow up, and everything is telling us, if you've been working hard on doing this already, and you're still humble, you still have appropriate fear of Eshu, okay? Let's just get rid of fear. Oh, good, says Eshu, then you are a sitting duck for me. Get rid of that fear. You go on, shed it, honey. Don't drink that Kool-Aid, kids, if you know what's good for you. But that's okay. If you don't know what's good for you, Eshu will set you right. If you've been working hard at this already and you continue to be humble and open and see life taking you to places where you're like, oh, dang, I didn't know that either. And I thought I knew that, but that was completely wrong. And laugh, right? This is Eshu, Elegua, the trickster, the playful child, the old one who laughs at everything because they've seen it all. Playful. Wow, I'm such a dumbass. I'm such a dumbass, arrogant, hubristic human. Eshu, please, I know now what's on the line. Please help me to choose wisely from a place of humility and a place of remembering that this really is all an eternal game that we're all playing with our eternal friend in an eternal garden. Live, die, suffer by your existing terms, or flourish by your existing terms. It's all a great game in that eternal garden. But what are you playing for? That's what I hear Eshu calling us to look at this week. What and who are you playing for? Are you playing only for yourself still? Foolish little mortal. Have not yet realized that there is no little you, that you are the forest, you are every child being terrorized and bombed in Sudan, in Yemen, in Afghanistan. You are every black child who's terrified to walk down the street for fear of being shot for the crime of having a cell phone. You are all of those people, and love of the divinity within you and within all of this calls you to choose in a way that's good for all. It's in your self-interest to do so. If you haven't figured that out, I think this week is likely to be disastrous for you. Oh, we're not supposed to say that. We're instilling fear. Come on. Okay? That's like saying to a parent, oh, don't grab your kid when they're walking out in front of the school bus. You don't want to instill any fear in them. Come on. You know, who would try to make us believe such pernicious nonsense that contradicts our own good common sense and the common sense of our ancestors everywhere for all time? It's time to put this nonsense down. That's called mental supremacy. It's a developmental phase we've been going through, but Eshu says time's up. Okay? It might be disastrous when you think it's the best week you ever had. If you don't know that Eshu can drop kick you like that, then you really don't know Eshu yet, and you don't know yourself. This could be a good week to learn more, okay? But you've got to be open. You've got to be humble. You know, that coconut is not to protect your existing head. It's to protect your spiritual self, to let it crack the coconut of the small mind, the small self, and awaken you, deliver you into a fuller recognition of what you really are, and therefore what you're responsible for. Ashe, ashe, ashe.